Hello and welcome back to my channel of Free Trade Analysis by Waji Kazmi. Well, if you are new to this channel, just for a quick recap, on this channel we give you daily intraday trades on different currencies, indexes, and even cryptocurrencies as well. So if you are new to this channel, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell icon to receive my daily updates on a regular basis. Okay, so let's start off with the dollar analysis first of all, and we will start off from where we left off yesterday, and we will analyze the trades on the DXY from where we left yesterday. Okay, so yesterday when we were discussing the dollar pair, it was on this candle, and we gave you four possible scenarios that we thought that could occur or happen. So now let's have a look at all of those, and let's try to analyze them. Okay, the first of all, we gave you this scenario of a selling setup. This where we thought that this level would be tested and the market would close down, and then where we would go short. But you can clearly see that this level was not respected and this level was broken. So our this selling scenario was never executed. Okay, so we are gonna remove this scenario. Another scenario that was given to you guys was that if the market goes straight up, then maybe you can go long if you are a risky buyer. Okay, so that was one of the scenarios, and then another scenario was given to you, which was that if the market closes above this area or even this area, then maybe you can go long on a retest. Okay, like from here. Okay, so what happened, that market went down and then again came back up, and market closed above this area. Now what we had to wait for was that we had to wait for a retest of this area. Okay, or even this area. Okay, so the market went up, and then market went all the way down, and then once again the market went up again, and market went long from here. Okay, if you would have taken a long entry, then maybe you would have hit a stop loss over here. But if you guys would have managed your stop loss quite a bit, then maybe you would have not hit the over here, and maybe you could have gotten a good profit till here. Okay, the routine stop losses is the low of the recent levels. Even though I usually give my all, I recommend that if you're a beginner, then maybe you should not use long stop losses. But as you can see that the wick of this low has taken out this low as well and this low as well. Only this low was not taken out. So if you were a smart trader, then if even if you had taken an entry over here or an entry over here, then your stop loss should have been somewhere around this area if you were a smart trader. But I would not really see that the youngsters who are coming in the earlier stages, that they are gonna put stop losses as per the levels that are being given. So what if we say that in this trade we could have made a profit from here? Let us just analyze the amount of profit that we could have gotten if our stop loss was not hit. Okay, this is just for you guys if you guys would have not hit this stop loss. Okay, and you guys would have put a stop loss somewhere around here. Okay, so and this trade would have been a good exit at here, for example. Okay, so this scenario would be if this was your stop loss, then 1 by 1.25 would be your profit from here, and if you guys would have entered from here, like for example at this point, then your stop loss would be at same this area, then the profit would be at this level, and this would be a profit of 1 by 2.4%. Okay, so the this trade was this given scenario was kind of respected, and another area that came into play beautifully was this area that we gave to you guys. And this, as you can clearly see, that that market came all the way down and tested this support zone in the over here, and went all the way up. So if you would have taken a trade of on a 15-minute chart, then you could have easily identified this area that when this candle closed down, then you could have taken an entry from here, and guys could have easily made a profit till here. Okay, this was a very clear scenario which was given yesterday. Even if you guys would have put a stop loss right below this support, and you guys could have made a profit of 1 by 3.6 or a little bit more. Okay, somewhere around, yes, 3.65. Okay, so this trade was perfectly executed for us. Okay, and now let us continue. Now let us continue with the today's analysis of dollar pair. If you guys have any queries, please always let me know in the comments box. If you guys are getting any difficulty in analyzing my given scenarios, okay. Now what I am looking at is that I am going to mark this area as what you can say, no, not really yellow, I would put it blue. So what is going on is that I have made a kind of a trend line which I'm expecting to be respected in near future, as I'm expecting the dollar to go up. So the dollar would I would say that respect this trend line and continue its progression in the upward direction. Okay, as you can clearly see that this area was tested today, and this area, and from this area dollar again came down beautifully. And if you guys were smart to identify this area in the from as a previous area of resistance, then you guys could have also made a profit from here. But I had marked the area a little above, and I did not give this area. But now I'm expecting this area to be broken either tomorrow or in the coming weeks. So what I'm expecting is that dollar would respect this area. Okay, so now let's come to the intraday trades that we expect to be achieved tomorrow. Okay, so let's assume that the dollar is gonna remain in the buying setup, and if dollar breaks this area and comes back again over here and then goes up, then maybe we can go long from here. Okay, so and on a selling side, if dollar breaks this area, we're gonna change its color to red, and then uh, tests this area again, and then it goes down again. Okay, now I am expecting another scenario that might come into play, which would be that if at any point in time this trend line is tested and the dollar closes above uh, this trend line, then maybe we can go long from here. Okay, So I'm gonna mark this scenario in green so you guys can have a better understanding as what I'm trying to point out. Okay, so these are three scenarios that have been given to you already. The fourth scenario would be if you are a risky buyer, then maybe you can go long straight away if you guys see the closing above this area. And just remember that this area has been recently tested twice and maybe once again. As you can see that this area is taken out in this liquidation high, so I'm expecting that if this area would be broken and market would respect I think this area. So just be vigilant. If market comes over here, then maybe you can go short from here, or maybe you can go short from the above level which is here. Okay, just be vigilant and be careful that from these two areas you have to pick an opportunity of a selling area. Okay, another buying opportunity might appear from this area. This is a, and this would form a double bottom, so I'm gonna mark this area as well. So if the market comes all the way down here, let me change its color to green as I am expecting the market to go up. That's why I am mostly marking the areas. So I'm marking the areas for buying, more buying opportunities and less selling opportunities. Okay, the liquidations point. Okay, just to be careful, this if market comes in this area, then maybe we are gonna look for a buy scenario from here straight away. Okay, just be careful if market enters this zone, just be careful to not miss a buying opportunity from here. Okay, or from this point as well. Okay, I'm marking this area as well. These two areas are very important. Okay, just keep an eye on these two areas are critical, but I am not expecting these areas to be hit tomorrow. Okay, but just be vigilant. If any of this area is tested, then maybe we can go long. Another setup that might come into play would be this trend line. If this trend line is broken and tested again and market goes short, then maybe you can go short. Okay, I'm gonna mark that as well. If market is able to, it is too much chaos right now, but only if you are following this video, then maybe you can analyze the amount of trades and amount of opportunities that I'm trying to identify for you guys. Is that if market goes up again and market respects this trend line. Okay, just be careful that the trend line that I have marked, okay, you guys can easily mark this trend line for yourselves as well. Okay, so good. So these are like so many scenarios that could come into play, but my options would be to my I would be looking out to go long on these trades. So just wait and watch that whichever scenario comes into play and just take trades accordingly. Okay. Now let's move on to the next pair, which is Euro USD, and let's analyze the Euro USD pair, that what happened yesterday and the trades that were given tomorrow, or what they executed or not. Okay, the Euro USD analysis that was done yesterday was executed quite brilliantly, I think. Okay, so first of all, this selling setup came into play at a very later stage, so we are going to discuss it later. The first scenario was that if the market goes into buy and market respects this area and market closes above, but this scenario did not came up. The third scenario was that when market closes below this area and market respects this area again, as you can clearly see, and then maybe we can go short on a selling opportunity, and this trade came into play beautifully. Okay, you can clearly see that market closed below our support zone and market went down, and then again market tested our support once again, and then once again the market closed down below. Okay, and then you can clearly see that market did not test our support again. So if you guys would have gone short from here, then you guys could have made a profit, easily made a profit till here as well. Okay, and if you were a risky seller, then maybe you this scenario would have come into play easily, and you guys could have gone short from here. Okay, and if you guys would have gone short from here, you guys could have made a good profit from here till this point. Okay, so now let me mark the amount of profit that you guys could have made if you were would have taken these two trades. Okay, so this and this. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so if you were a risky seller, then maybe then you could have made a good profit of 1 by 1.8. And if you were a safe seller like me who always trades on a retest, then maybe you could have taken an entry after this closing. The stop loss would be right above this, and you guys would have made a profit till here, and this is a 1 by 1.4. Okay, so these both of these trades have given a good profit to us. And now let's discuss the this scenario that came into play at last, where we gave you this critical area of resistance. As you can clearly see that market pumped all the way to this area and tried to push further up, but it could not close above this liquidation high, which means that market is in a downward trend and the direction is going down. So if in this volatility, you have to take an opportunity in a 15-minute chart, and you guys have to go short if you guys have to go short in 15 minutes. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you guys had to go short when the market entered here and closed below this area. So the amount of profit that you guys could have easily made would be something like this. Okay, you entered here, your stop loss would be exactly over here, and your take profit would be till here. So 1 by 2.4, which is huge. Okay, we are making three good positive trades from the scenarios that were given yesterday. This is 2.4. The safety trade that we had, it gave us a 1.4% profit, and this uh, s- this risky selling setup gave us a profit of 1.8. So overall we are in good profit if we compare our analysis to yesterday. Okay, now let's try to analyze this pair today, that what it's gonna do with us tomorrow, and we will try to identify the best possible scenarios once again. Okay, so let me delete the previous day's record so we can have a clear picture and we do not have any problems in identifying the areas. Okay, as areas have already been marked for you guys, so I don't think so that there is much trouble in analyzing them further. So what is happening over here is that now the current this zone has not been taken out, so and this zone is already tested, so we are in a negative trend line. I would say that something like this at least. So this is a good trend line that might be tested tomorrow. So what might happen is that from here, okay, let me first mark another area for you guys so you guys can have a clear picture. Okay, this is another area of support area that has a resistance area rather. Okay, let me mark this area as an area of resistance, so you guys can have even better idea as what's the market is doing. Okay, so if the market goes up again and tests this area and closes below this area, then maybe you can go short from here. Okay, and the second setup would be if market closes below this area and market tests this area again and then market closes below this area, then maybe you can go short once again. Okay, and if you're a risky seller and market closes below this area, then maybe you can go short straight away. Okay, let me move this over here and let me move this over here. Okay, so these would be our three significant selling setups. Now, in order for a buying scenario, what we have to identify a critical support. But if this support is respected, let me mark some support area. If, for example, rather this would be okay, so let me just mark this area as a recent support zone. Okay, so if market goes down here, and let me make change its color so you can easily identify that what I'm trying to identify, and market closes above this area, then maybe you can go long from here. Okay, and if you are a risky buyer, then maybe you can go long from here if the market closes above this area. Okay, just keep in view that this area is still very much in play. So if this area, if the market comes in this area once again, then you have to look for a selling opportunity and somewhere from here. Okay, let me mark this area red. Another scenario that could come into play would be if the market goes all the way up and tests this trend line. Okay, and then market closes below this trend line, then maybe you can go short. Okay, so just be vigilant as to what is market gonna do tomorrow. So just be vigilant. I am marking another critical area from where the market could go up. Okay, as of today, you can clearly see that this is our recent support area. So just be vigilant. If market tests this area at any point of time, then look for an opportunity to go long from here. Okay, just keep an eye out on this area. Okay, now let's move on to the next pair, which is GBPUSD. Now let's see that what has this area done for us today. As you can clearly see the scenarios that we gave to you. The first scenario was that if market respects this area, but it did not test this area, so we are gonna delete this scenario. The second scenario that was given was if market respects this area and goes up. Okay, since you can clearly see that this area was not respected and we did not had this trade executed as well. The third scenario was that if we will go short if market respects this area twice, this area, and as you can clearly see that market came all the way down to this area and went up, and you can clearly see that market, even though did not respect this area initially, but once again it came down and we could have gone short from here. Okay, so the amount of profit that we could have made would be something like this if we would have gone short from here. The easy profit would be a 1 by 2.27, which is huge. Okay, this was a setup on a retest, and then another scenario that we gave yesterday was if we were a risky seller, then maybe if the market closes below this area, we could go short, but this scenario would have not come into play as if you could have gone short from here, then maybe you could have made a little bit of profit from here till here. But if you had gone short from this point, then your stop loss would have been hit. But let me assume that you were a smart trader and you went short, you went a risky short from here and you made a quick profit, as in this would be your stop loss and this would be your quick profit target, which is 0 0.5. Okay, which is not huge, but still at least breaking is also much better than a losing trade. Okay, now I am going to remove the previous scenarios and we are going to try to identify the GBPUSD area for tomorrow. Okay, so this I'm going to do it as well. Okay, so what the GBPUSD is doing, that it is continuously falling. Okay, you can clearly see that it is falling, and now this area has become our area of interest. So I'm going to mark this area for you guys so you guys can have a clear idea as in what this area could come into play tomorrow. Okay, so let me just make this area in red color, as this is an area of recent resistance, and I'm also going to mark a recent area of support, which is from here. Okay, this is my recent area of support. I'm going to mark this in green color so you can have a better idea. Okay, now how are we going to trade? We are going to wait for this area to be tested, and if the market is closed below this area, then we are gonna go short. Okay, so if the market closes below this area, then maybe we will go short from here, and we will go long if the market comes all the way down till here. And let me make this in green color, and market respects this area, then maybe we can go long from here. Okay, the second scenario that could come into play would be if the market respects this area. Okay, then maybe we can go short from this area. Okay, a third selling setup would be if at any point of time this setup comes into play and market enters this area and market closes with a red candle from here. Okay, then maybe we can go short from here as well. Okay, another buying scenario would come into play if market enters this area at any given point of time and market gives a good buying opportunity from here, then maybe we can go long from here as well. Okay, so if we are looking for a buying setup, then this would be an area of interest for us, and the second area of interest would be the previous area. Okay, just keep an eye out and keep watching, as whichever area comes into play first, we will go long or short accordingly. Okay, or if the market enters here, we will go short from this area as well. Okay, so this area is now acting as a resistance zone, and even this area is now acting as a resistance zone. Okay, so just be vigilant, as in whichever area comes into play first, we have to play along accordingly. Okay, so now let's move on to the gold pair, which is XAUUSD analysis. The gold analysis, what has the gold done for us since yesterday? When we were analyzing the pair, the gold was at this point of time and the gold went up Gave the first scenario if the gold goes up from till this area of resistance, but it did not go up straight away. The second scenario that we gave was if the gold comes down all the way and tests this area and market closes above this area, and then maybe we can go long, and this scenario was executed beautifully. And the third scenario was that if market is able to break this area and market does not come back up, but it came back up, so this area did not come into play, so we are going to delete this area. And uh, third setup that we gave you was if the market closes below this area, and if you're a risky seller, then maybe you could go short straight away. But as you can clearly see, if you were a risky seller, you would have hit your stop loss right away in the second or maximum third hour. Okay, so the scenario that came into play, we would just analyze that. Sorry for that. Okay. So let me just see that how much profits we would have made from the trades from the trade of yesterday. If you would have gone long on this buying opportunity, no, rather here the market closed below, here the market closed above. Okay, this area market had to test this area and market had to give a green candle and green candle like this. Okay, and we could have gone long from here. Okay, so what we can do is we can mark this area, and the second the target would be, okay, this would be our initial target. So 1 by 3.7 would be our target, and you can clearly see that it is a huge profit in terms of the percentage points. And if you guys have any doubt that my area was not respected, then I am going to zoom in for you guys, and you can clearly see that market went down all the way, market broke this area, and then market closed above this area of on this candle, and this is a good buying candle. That's why I would have gone long from here. Okay, and the scenario was already marked for you guys previously, so this was huge profit for us. Okay, now the third or the fourth scenario, that was the selling setup. If the market would have entered over here and we would have gone short on a selling opportunity, and the market gave us those opportunities twice, first over here, first over here, and secondly over here. So whenever the market enters in this zone, we have to go short from this area on the first opportunity. Okay, so now let me analyze that when the market entered. Okay, just for the easiness of you guys, as you can clearly see that the market went up, and then market gave a good selling candle to us, and this, as we had already marked this area, we could have easily gone short from here, and we would have made a huge profit out of it. Okay, simply at least this, or let me stretch it a little, as this was huge profit for us yesterday, 1 by 7.4, which is huge. Okay, now if since the market has gone all the way down, now we could have easily identified this area as a double bottom area, and when this, as you can clearly see that this was the low for us. Okay, now let me also teach you guys that how the double bottom is identified. It is the lowest point of a wick. Okay, now this wick, now this would have become our area of interest. Okay, and we could have waited from here, we could have gone long if this wick tested this area, we could have gone long from here, or we could have gone long after this candle's once this candle, as you can see that this candle touched this area, but we would have waited for a confirmation of a buying candle, which would be this candle, but this candle was not a buy candle, so we would wait again that this area was tested again, and the very next candle was also a buying candle, so we could enter over here. Okay, so now I would take a trade on this double bottom, and I would stay in this trade till this point, and my stop loss would be from the low of the previous candle. Okay, so this would be my area of interest. So the profit would be 1 by 3.2, which is huge. Okay, the next area is that once again, now let me remove this area, and now as you can clearly see that this area is being respected again. So if this area is respected once again, then maybe we can go short again, but since this scenario has been executed twice already, so we do not really want to go short again, as we have already made a huge profit from here. Okay, so if we would have gone short from here as well, then maybe once again we would have made some good profits. Okay, now let's move on to the scenarios for today. Okay, so what has happened is that this is our recent area of interest. So what are we going to do is that we are going to wait for a little while, and we have to check for, yes, the market is still respecting this area, and market has not been able to take out these two lows in the 4 hour, and not even this low. So what I am looking for, that gold would go further up tomorrow. So my main goal would be to identify the areas to go long. Okay, so the first area that I would want is to be this area to be respected, and I'm going to mark this area in green. If this area is tested and respected, then maybe we can go long from here. A second scenario would be that if this area is respected and market closes above this area, then maybe we can just easily go long from somewhere right here. Okay. The third setup would be that if the market goes all the way down till here, and this area is respected, and then maybe we can go long from here. Okay, so the selling setups would be that if the market goes up again up till here, and but this area is respected, let me mark this area in red. Okay, but this area is respected, and then maybe we can go short from here. Okay, the second setup would be if the market goes further up till this area, somewhere till here, or this area is respected, and then maybe we can go short from here. Another selling opportunity might appear from here. Okay, if at any given point of time market comes in this area, then maybe we have to look for a short trade from here. Okay, so these are the possible scenarios, and this area is also important and critical. If at any given point in time the market comes down to this area, then even we have to look for a buying opportunity. Okay, I am also marking this area as an area of interest for us. Okay. So now let's wait and watch that whichever scenario comes into play first, we will act accordingly and make our decisions. Now I'm going to change this color as well, as this is now our support zone. And even this area is also now acting as a support zone. Now let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's just wait and watch, and let's hope that we make good profits tomorrow. If you guys have made some good profits out of my analysis, then kindly just like my video and also subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to click on the bell icon so you guys can receive regular updates from my side. And now let's wait for the scenarios to be executed tomorrow. Thanks for watching.